Hello and welcome today to Eurosatori, where we're being hosted at the DCSD booth. What is the DCSD? The DCSD?
It's the Directorate of Cooperation, which is under the authority of the Ministry for Europe and Foreign Affairs.
Well, it's David Juber. A few years ago, we made a short introduction video about Kepler, the Kepler project. We use regional transport planes, the ATR-72s, which are highly regarded, extremely efficient, very cost-effective, meaning their cost efficiency is excellent. And we convert them into water bombers, which are the aircraft that operate from land bases and come back to reload, a bit like the Q400s we have today. Yeah.
We're going to buy some.
It's the new generation Dash 8 Q400. Last time we were just starting the adventure.
We're sticking to the schedule we made 2 years ago. We're doing successive fundraising rounds. We're working on design. So far, everything is going perfectly well. We're meeting the various mandatory milestones to validate all the stages of design and certification. We have close relationships with the ASOL, the Air Safety Authority, and everything is going perfectly.
We have an industrial ecosystem where we know who does what and who designs what on what timeline, and everything is currently on track.
It's on track. Yeah, it's not easy. It's pretty rare. It's rare enough to point out. Actually, our partners Aerotech and Concept handle the design and certification. ACIA and IPRC are in charge of the cargo part of our plane. As you may remember, our plane is multi-role. Trotter Control is making the drop system for us. And of course, the Institut de Mécanique des Fret helps optimize the whole system so we have the most efficient drop system possible.
The most efficient in the world.
The idea isn't just to bring a lot of water, it's to bring retardant and water and drop them as efficiently as possible on the fire.
The recent news is that now there's a plane that's going to be converted. So what's this magic trick? Did we buy a plane?
We didn't buy a plane. We found a plane owner who believes in the project. Someone who's lending us a plane. This plane, we're going to modify it, we're going to make holes in it, we're going to reinforce it, we're going to turn it into Kepler-72. And that's going to allow us to do the first flight tests and the first drops at the end of 2026 or the beginning of 2027.
So we're still on track for certification next year, right?
We're still on that schedule, and our goal is to do a drop at the Paris Air Show. We're setting ourselves a pretty ambitious target, but we're going to make it.
There were also quite a few parliamentary reports saying that the project needed to be supported. There are letters of interest or intent, I'm not sure what they're called.
They're still letters of interest, yes. Exactly, because at this stage, as long as we don't have certification, letters of intent are a bit harder to get. But we have letters of interest for 18 planes worldwide, plus one letter of interest that's fundamental, the one from the General Directorate of Civil Security, which has been effectively supporting the project since 2024. And since last year, the big news is that the state and the Occitanie region have granted us a subsidy of 5 million euros. It's considerable and significant enough to make a real difference in our journey.
Excellent. So today you mentioned development from an industrial point of view, but what about fundraising and interest? Are there other countries besides France that are also looking to acquire it?
We have potential clients abroad. Indeed, we have a very active development department. Our development director is going to Asia for a month, for example, where he will visit about 10 countries. And he will be at the aerial firefighting event in Australia in July. We are present at all the trade shows, so we have the opportunity to actually meet foreign delegations. We have already raised a little over 12 million euros since the beginning. We are in an interim international fundraising round where we will raise 5 million more in July. We will officially announce them when they are signed. We're currently in the middle of a fundraising round. However, what's important is that we wanted to involve everyone. We wanted to allow everyone to participate in the project. And the right way to do that is to go to a crowdfunding platform. We chose the SoWeFund platform. And this platform allows us to offer everyone the opportunity to become a shareholder of Kepler through a fundraising campaign that you can check out on our website.
As mentioned in previous videos, we were invited to participate, and I did so as well. Since this company keeps running, progressing, and growing, there's already a modest multiple for those who had the foresight to invest earlier. What's the target valuation for the company, so the value?
Right now, if you invest, talking about valuation like that is a bit complicated. If you invest, our goal is to quadruple the money you entrust to us. There you go. So, of course, it's still an industrial venture. So we're not talking about a tax-advantaged stock savings plan or a savings account. It's an adventure, but you can take part, give us the means to go even further, and you'll also be kept informed, thanks to Xavier maybe, and also through other means. Yes, the project. You'll be informed about the progress.
So, I also want to say why I'm involved. I'm officially on the advisory council now. There's an advisory council with some very big names in the industry.
Robert Lafontaine, for example, the former chief engineer of the Airbus Group and one of the fathers of the A380. Eric Delsol, who was a test pilot and chief pilot at ATR for 17 years here.
I know a little.
Firefighters, field specialists, Christophe Divray, who even joined us as an employee and development director. There's Jean-Baptiste Guibari, the former Minister of Transport, with whom I had already created Kepler in 2012, who joined us in this advisory committee. Philippe Rigaud, Thomas Krasinski, in short, only big names in their fields, who not only help us avoid mistakes, give us access to their networks, and also give us the courage to keep going until the end.
And we even got a little hello from a big name who goes a bit beyond the atmosphere at our last event, Thomas Pesquet, the astronaut.
He was kind enough to say a word of support and to encourage the people who were present at our anniversary evening in Toulouse.
I was in Ukraine and couldn't attend, but my thoughts were there. About next steps, you mentioned certification, but certifying a civil aircraft isn't the same as certifying a water bomber.
No, certification at the ESA level is to say that the aircraft can fly and that it is capable of carrying out its mission safely, just like we do for a passenger plane or even a military aircraft. So we follow the manufacturer's certification. Along with that, there's the wildfire qualification required to join firefighters in fighting fires. You mentioned the manufacturer.
So the manufacturer agrees to let us do this kind of thing? They have to agree, yeah. So, well?
Last year, at least at the Paris Air Show, ATR showed us their support and regularly works with us, especially with some pretty advanced commercial collaborations. And besides that, we also have to certify the aircraft for firefighting and to be able to go fight fires. And that's Sérène, which is Entente Valambré in the south of Switzerland, in the southeast of France, which organizes these full-scale tests. So we do a drop over an area where we have rain gauges installed and we measure the effectiveness. So we plan to launch a campaign next year to qualify our aircraft, and so that the whole world can witness the effectiveness of this drop, which will allow us to do either blast effect drops, similar to what the Canadair does, for example, or constant flow drops, to lay down lines of retardant that slow the spread of the fire and allow firefighters to do their work in a somewhat protected environment.
Everything that is multi-mission, meaning cargo, medical transport, and possibly people.
Well, that's optimization, making better use of the aircraft. An airplane is expensive. If you only use it 4 months a year, well, it's extremely difficult to make it profitable. So talking about profitability in civil protection might seem strange, but budgets aren't unlimited. And so our plane is capable of transporting cargo, medical evacuation, both during fire season with certain restrictions due to the onboard system or outside of fire season. We remove all the firefighting equipment, and we turn the plane into a cargo or medical evacuation aircraft, and even troop transport in certain circumstances.
I noticed they're now adding small sensors under the plane.
Yes, the electro-optical sensors that are all around us, everywhere here in the Versatility lounge. These electro-optical sensors can detect fire outbreaks up to 100 kilometers away. There were tests done last year, actually, with Valambré and Safran, I think, at the time. So these balls actually allow for wide-range visibility and detection. And since the plane can fly quite economically with its load of retardant or extinguishing liquid, the pilot can go directly to a fire outbreak identified from relatively far away, sometimes even farther than what his eyes could detect.
And let's clarify that afterwards. We can go to any airfield to refill. As long as there are firefighters at an airport, which is the case at all airports, they put water in the tank. We don't need a dedicated airport. So many locations work, even in desert countries, since helicopters are great, but they still require nearby water sources.
And to be able to use a helicopter, the water source needs to be clean, without any objects or human activity using it. There shouldn't be too much wind in certain situations, so taking off from a runway is much simpler and much safer. And actually, any fire truck is able to fill our plane, so we don't need
of this extra equipment.
That's it of an installation. It's definitely better when it exists. In France, it's called a pelicandrome. There are a certain number that are installed, but you can also turn any land into a temporary pelicandrome because the fire, it's going to reach areas where we didn't expect the fire.
Unfortunately, there's another sensor that I saw come in. It was the IMC catcher. What do we do with that?
When it's authorized and well controlled, it allows you to detect all the cell phones in the area, all the SIM cards that are being used. The idea is to avoid dropping it on someone who might be in the area. Or not to drop it so low so that maybe you can protect them and create a cooling cloud that could save their life.
Excellent. Yeah, David, that's great.
Well, listen, we're very happy to have you on this adventure, and keep going.
Well, let's just clarify that you're just a humble airline pilot who knows a bit about aeronautics too. Thank you.
Let's say I've been flying airliners for 30 years, and I've been involved in aerial firefighting for 16 years. So it's true that these are two fields that are particularly close to my heart.
A dream team. Thank you, David.
Thank you, too.
We hope you enjoyed it. See you soon. Links are in the video comments.
Thank you all. See you.